Hi everyone, it's Ruben here from the Ruby Tuesday. Today I'm super excited to talk about something I've been looking forward to for a while. Mononoke the movie, Phantom in the Rain, or whatever it's called now on Netflix. If you're a fan of the original Mononoke anime from 2007, you already know that this isn't your run-of-the-mill anime. It's an experience, a sensory overload. It's a piece of art that makes you think and feel things you didn't even know you could feel while watching an anime, especially if you're new to the anime universe. And if you're new to the franchise, buckle up because we're diving deep into one of the most visually stunning, thematically rich, and downright overwhelming films. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, here's a little synopsis to set the stage. The story follows the medicine seller, a mysterious master of the occult who travels through feudal Japan hunting Mononoke. These are malevolent spirits born from human suffering and negative emotions. To exercise them, he must uncover their form, their truth, and their reason. Only then can he wield his legendary exorcism sword. The movie brings back the iconic character and plunges us into a story that's as haunting as it is mesmerizing. To understand how confusing this movie is as well, I understood more about this movie while reading the synopsis of it than I did watching the movie the first time round. And yes, I had to watch it twice. And now that I have, I do get much more of it. But during the first time, I was like, what was happening? In places, I was really confused. Anyway, let's break it down. The story, the visuals, the themes, the cast, and of course, whether this movie lives up to its massive expectations. The story is a layered exploration of horror and humanity. The narrative of Mononoke, the movie, Phantom in the Rain, picks up the same core concepts that made the original series so compelling. The medicine seller isn't your typical hero. He's more of an enigmatic presence, a character who observes, analyzes, and ultimately acts with precision. This time, the story takes us to the Uku, the chambers of the Shogun's inner circle. Here, the vivid setting serves as a backdrop for a tale that's dripping with tension, mystery, and supernatural horror, which I love. One thing this movie does really well is stay true to its roots. The three-step process of uncovering the form, truth, and reason of a Mononoke remains central to the plot. These aren't just supernatural battles, they're puzzles that require unraveling the deep, often disturbing truths behind human suffering. Each Mononoke is born of something painfully real: betrayal, jealousy, grief, and the medicine seller's journey forces him to confront the dark underbelly of feudal society. But this isn't just about the Mononoke themselves. The human characters, Asa, Kame, and Kayama, are given rich, emotionally charged arcs. Their struggles and desires are deeply intertwined with the Mononoke, creating a narrative where every revelation feels earned. Let's talk about the cast, voice acting that breathes life into a story. To appreciate the voice cast here, because honestly they are phenomenal. Hiroshi Kayama returns as the medicine seller, which is great. He's perfect. His calm, measured delivery gives the character an almost ethereal quality, making him feel both a part of the world and apart from it. You can feel his otherworldly detachment, but there's also an undercurrent of emotion that makes him endlessly fascinating to watch. Toyoma Kurosawa as Asa brings a youthful vulnerability to the character, while Oya Yuki delivers a standout performance as Kame. There's a sharpness and desperation in a voice that hits hard at times, especially during the film's most emotional moments. And Mami Koyama as Kayama adds gravitas, grounding the more fantastical elements of the story with a commanding presence. This cast doesn't just perform, they elevate the material. Every line feels purposeful, every emotional beat lands, and their voices perfectly complement the hauntingly beautiful visuals. Obviously, I'm talking about the original language, which is what I always suggest you do if you can, but I'll understand if you don't for this one, but we'll get into that later on. So the animation, a masterpiece that is almost too much. The visuals here, honestly, for Mononoke the movie might be one of the most visually ambitious anime films I've ever made, or at least I've ever seen. Directed by Kenji Nakamura and produced by Twin Engine You'll recognize some of their works. If you know them, you know them. The animation is an evolution of the style we saw in the original series. The film uses real Japanese paper textures as filters, creating a tactile, almost handmade feel. This isn't just about animation, it's art in motion. The yukoi print motifs are stunning with their flat, bold colors and sharp outlines. These elements give the film a distinct look that sets it apart from anything else in anime that we have right now. And then there's the color palette. The uku chambers are drenched in saturated reds, golds, and purples, creating a sense of opulence that contrasts sharply with the grim subject matter. But here's the catch. As beautiful as it all is, it's a lot. The combination of vibrant colors, intricate patterns, and rapid editing feel overwhelming. At times it's hard to keep up with what's happening on screen because your eyes are so busy trying to take everything in. For some viewers, this is going to be a deal breaker. It's a sensory overload, and if you're not ready for it, it can be exhausting. Personally, I found it mesmerizing, but I can understand why others might struggle to follow the story amidst the visual chaos, because I definitely did at times, hence having to watch the movie twice. Themes, horror, humanity, and history. The themes in Mononoke, the movie, are as rich and layered as its visuals. At its core, the film is a horror story, but not in the traditional sense. The Mononoke themselves are terrifying, yes, but the real horror lies in the human emotions and societal injustices that create them. Why do they exist? That is the true horror here. The movie explores themes of guilt, betrayal, and repression, using the supernatural as a lens to examine human nature. It's a deeply introspective film that asks uncomfortable questions about morality and the consequences of our actions. On top of that, the historical setting adds another layer of complexity: the rigid structures of feudal Japan, the class hierarchies, the power dynamics, the isolation of the uku. These are all woven into the narrative in a way that feels both authentic and impactful. This isn't just a ghost story, it's a commentary on the human condition wrapped in a historical and supernatural package. So my final thoughts is this. Is it worth watching? Yes. Depending on what you feel about anime and how far you have delved into the anime, Mononoke the movie Phantom in the Rain is a work of art. It's ambitious, thought-provoking, and unlike anything else there is. But, and there is a big but, this is not for everyone. If you're a fan of the original series or you love experimental art house style animation, you're going to have a lot to appreciate here. The storytelling, the visuals, the themes, they're all top-notch. But if you're someone who prefers straightforward narratives, and that's fine, or more traditional anime styles, and that's also fine, you might find the movie overwhelming or even frustrating at times. And then there's the matter of the subtitles, which I mentioned earlier. With so much happening on screen, it can be hard to keep up with the dialogue, especially if you're not fluent in Japanese. For some viewers, this could be a barrier to fully enjoying the film. At the end of the day, I'm giving Mononoke the movie, The Phantom in the Rain, 3 out of 5 Nicolas Cages.
You got one.
It's stunning, it's ambitious, and it's deeply thought-provoking. But it's also overwhelming and not particularly accessible to the casual viewer. If you're ready for a challenging, visually arresting experience, I absolutely recommend giving this one a shot. Just go in knowing it's going to demand your full attention, maybe not scrolling on your phone while you're watching something, because you'll definitely be lost then, and maybe needs a rewatch or two. So that's my take. Let me know your thoughts of the film in the comments. Have you seen the original anime? Is it everything that you hoped for? Did it leave you scratching your head? As always, stay safe, stay awesome, and remember, live long on Tuesday.